Hi everyone, and welcome to a new AGS webinar. So this time it's in English for our customers also in the Nordics. A little bit about AGS as a firm. We are now a 40-year-old company. We have 3 departments in Norway: Oslo, Bergen, and Vestfold. We are 40 plus employees, and we are certified Microsoft, Dropbox, HP members. Also, AGS is a tier 1 partner and advanced partner with Dropbox, meaning we connect with them directly as a partner. And what does that mean for us and you guys? Well, it means we have a strong partnership with Dropbox and also have access to support and technical resources at Dropbox, which can help us directly and also double gain for you. So why use AI? Well, it boosts productivity, free up time otherwise spent on tedious tasks, structure your work, and give valuable insights. And also, why become a Dash pilot partner? So we believe in Dropbox, and we want to be the first partner to test it, offer it, and support our partners for it. Within this product, and we also see the benefit Dash offers, such as AI-powered answers and the universal search tool. We believe in Dropbox, and we want to be the first partner to test it, offer it, and support you guys. With this product, and we also see the benefit Dash offers, such as AI-powered answers. And also, so today I have with me Seamus McLaughlin, a senior solutions consultant from Dropbox. Can't you share a name, role, what do you do with Seamus?
Yeah, certainly, Mats. Thank you. So hello, everyone. My name is Seamus McLaughlin. I'm a senior solutions consultant at Dropbox. Senior solutions consultants in Dropbox, essentially, we sit in that middle ground between sales and product. And I've been the lead for Dropbox Dash since before we, in Europe, since before we actually launched in Europe this December.
Yeah. So we talk a lot to our customers on a daily basis. Most feel overwhelmed at the moment by too many tools and too much information. In your experience, what are the biggest challenges teams are facing today when it comes to finding and managing their content?
Yeah. So if we start, maybe let's put some numbers around some of the pain that our customers are seeing every single day. And this isn't just our feelings. This is what we've seen from research from the IDC and Forrester. Forrester found that workers are using at least 7 different SaaS applications each week, and some are using more than 15 or 16 of them, right? And the vast majority of those users feel that they're constantly switching between those tasks and those applications. And they're losing focus very quickly as every sort of task that they need to work on lives in a different tab. And now IDC found that like the majority of companies, they're increasing workspace spend to reduce inefficiency and context switching. Teams know that their current tools aren't really cutting it. And because of this, information is getting buried. Time goes into searching for answers instead of being able to move that work forward. Now, the majority of Gen AI users, they're constantly creating new content, and adoption of Gen AI is only accelerating. So all that additional content that's being generated, that just creates more noise. And then finding that approved version of your documents and files gets even more difficult. And what Forrester are saying is that workers are beginning to bypass company policies just to share files faster. When it's easier to break those rules than to get permission, collaboration really slows down, and then company risk begins to pile up. So the data says that the information overload is real and it's accelerating, which kind of brings us to this question, like, why haven't today's AI tools fixed this yet? And, if we look back 6 months ago, a lot of teams across the world were starting to hand out their employees ChatGPT, and they're really hoping for like a magic solution.
Yeah.
Reality, tools like ChatGPT, they're really good at creating prose, but they don't have any knowledge of what your quarterly work roadmap looks like, what your client contract is, or where that image is that's buried somewhere inside of your OneDrive. So those generic chat tools, they're really good at language, but they can be really blind to your business. So we came up with the idea of what would it look like if AI truly understood your work, the context, the content, and what tools that you rely on every single day. So imagine asking yourself, what's our Q2 roadmap strategy? And then being able to get a concise answer with sources that are open, that you could open. The roadmap, the deck, the notes, so that you can trust it and act. And that's what we call context-rich AI. It's grounded in your company content and permissions. It's aware of your files, formats, and history, not just the text. And it's transparent with citations. And that's the standard that we're aiming for.
So how is Dash different from other AI tools or assistants on the market today, you think?
That's actually a really, really good question. So here's the reality. The current tools weren't built for how work actually happens today. Now, you have historic systems like internal knowledge bases, and they just can't keep up with fast-moving projects. They're often outdated the moment that they're published. Then you have like generic AI tools. They're smart with words, but they can't see or reference your company files unless you upload those files manually. And then you have to trust that they're not training AI on your content. Then you have enterprise search tools. They rely on keywords and ignore things like media files. So they're no help when you're looking for a photo, a PowerPoint deck, or a video clip. And then you have siloed sort of office suite AI assistants, and they're often locked inside of their own ecosystems. So they're fine for finding documents, but they're really limited for cross-app collaborations or creative work. So Dash complements these by adding that missing layer, which is context.
Yeah. So you described Dash as AI with context. I love that phrasing. Can you unpack what that means? Can you walk us through like a scenario of how Dash fits into a typical project workflow for you guys?
Yeah, sure thing. So let's have a closer look at how looking at Dash through the following scenario that we've all been. Like, let's say you're launching a new project or planning a new construction site. You're rolling out a marketing campaign, or you're coordinating a cross-team project. And you kind of know the feeling. It's sometimes absolute chaos. There are countless versions of documents that are floating around. Feedback is scattered everywhere. There's a maze of processes to keep track of. And whether you're in a creative, a legal, or some kind of production workflow, the actual work and the workflow just isn't lining up. And that's where like friction really begins to hit. No one knows where to find the latest file, who owns which task, or which version is the final one. Instead of designing or reviewing, you've just spent 30 minutes chasing down links and clarifications. And it's beyond just messy. It's disorienting. You start wondering whether you're the only one that's beginning to fall behind. Everyone's working really hard, but nothing feels connected. The energy drains because the system isn't built to support the work. And that's where Dash comes in. Teams aren't disorganized, they're unsupported. Dash bridges that gap, making collaboration seamless and keeping your creative or other momentums alive.
I can completely relate to this. So how does that Dropbox Dash work, and how does it address those everyday pain points you're talking about?
Okay. So Dash is really your AI teammate that understands your work.
Yeah.
It connects to your tools, it understands your work, and it surfaces context and answers to keep your projects moving. And we'll walk through Dash's workflows, which includes finding, answering, organizing, sharing, and securing. So let's start with find, because behind every task starts with finding the right information. So with Dash, you can just ask in plain language questions like the spring Photoshop brief or a quick description of what you're looking for. And Dash surfaces the right file, even if you don't know the exact file name. It works across solutions like Dropbox, Drive, Gmail, Slack, and many more. so that there's no more hopping between tabs. Dash shows the answer and the docs, slides, images, and clips that are behind it. And once you've found that resource, the next question is, can Dash read that for me? So Dash reads every connected source and replies with a cited summary. It turns lengthy decks or long threads into key points. Dash suggests gaps and next questions, even when on mobile. So we have answers, but things like projects, they need structure. So let's find out how Dash can help you organize that structure. Dropbox Dash introduces a concept called stacks, and they're like living project hubs. You can drop in your files, web links, chats. Dash groups and previews all of them, and it's no longer just like having a bunch of static folders that are scattered. You can ask Dash inside of a stack what's changed today, or summarize creative feedback, and then everyone's up to speed. You can keep in sync. By editing the sort of source apps in the background, everything will be updated, wiping out version control panes. And when your Dash stack is ready, you can share it internally or with partners without any sort of chaos. Recipients land in the same live workspace with previews and Ask Dash built in. The original permissions travel with the content. You can tighten or expand with a single click. Now, teammates are only pinged on relevant updates, so you can say goodbye to status chat clutter. And sharing is powerful, but security is really non-negotiable. So let's see how Dash helps you protect.
Now, especially here in Norway, people are very thoughtful about data and privacy. How does Dash make sure customer information stay secure and under control?
So when we say security by design, it's not just a tagline, it's in our core DNA. And it's how Dropbox continues to earn trust from hundreds of millions of users, and now extends that same protection to AI-powered productivity through Dash. We're quite happy to announce that since we launched in Europe in December, we have been GDPR compliant, achieved ISO 27001 certification, and you can verify our security through our publicly attested SOC 2 reports. We also follow very strict AI principles, which we've published publicly. We will never use your company content to train large language models. We're very transparent in how our AI works and what those benefits are. We work to ensure that AI is inclusive, unbiased, reliable, and robust. And we will protect people's rights and safety in all of our AI innovations. And you can review all of these AI principles yourself at dropbox.com/AI principles. Yeah. So Dash also connects to all of your company content and works seamlessly with all of your tools. So what is better than being able to search through your Microsoft content is being able to search through all of your content.
Real Stories brings this to life. So let's take a look at one of Dropbox Dash most exciting customers, currently in the race for a world championship title. Let's roll the video.
For McLaren Racing, speed is a competitive advantage. That's just as true off the track as it is on the track. McLaren Racing Live London was the biggest fan event that McLaren have ever attempted, so we knew that we had to deliver for our team, for our fans, and our partners. There's so much going on at one time. Dropbox Dash really helps us find clarity through those challenging moments and enabled us to make sure that everyone had the right information in real time. This organisation doesn't accept second best.
We'll have a look at a real-world example, which is the McLaren F1 team. McLaren operate in an environment where every millisecond counts, both on and off the track. To stay ahead, they need a solution that would help them provide fast, secure access to critical information across multiple apps. And that's where Dropbox Dash really comes in. They use unified content access so that they can look at all their tools and platforms in a single search bar, allowing them to quickly find whatever they need, whether they're trackside, engaging with fans, or collaborating with their partners. They need no longer waste time searching across their different apps. And with that AI-powered search and answers, their employees can instantly locate information, whether it's the Grand Prix schedules, project timelines, or their social media content, helping teams move faster and make more informed decisions in real time. Within Formula One, security is critical as speed. And now McLaren generates vast amounts of sensitive data, from car performance metrics to engineering insights. And Dash ensures that commercial content is only accessed by the right people, helping McLaren maintain security while sharing its critical information. So from accessing race plans to delivering real-time updates for fans, Dropbox Dash empowers the McLaren F1 team to stay agile in one of the most fast-paced and competitive environments in the world. And if we take a little deep dive into McLaren's use case, behind every Grand Prix, the F1 marketing and social media teams use Dash to find critical content from race footage to sponsorship proposals to driver shots to campaign rollouts. So they're looking at per Grand Prix, maybe 2,000 different digital assets. They have 1,000 different race team members, and that constitutes about 250 million data points. Now, if we break down some of those key components to where Dash has come into the picture on this, like they've helped with universal search, putting things together into stacks, and then securing their most critical information. And in McLaren's case, this meant fewer missed updates and more time spent on creative storytelling. And their outcomes were that their campaign handoffs were smoother, they were able to their review cycles were faster, people felt more empowered, and Dash helped McLaren bring clarity and speed to their process during one of their most busy seasons.
Yeah. So like everything looks amazing on a slide, but let's see it in action, Seamus. How about a live demo?
Yeah, I'd love to. So let me give you a quick orientation around Dash before we do any searching. Dash's homepage is my command center for when I first start my day to see what is most relevant ahead of me for my workday. I can see my upcoming events through our integration with our calendar, including the summary of what's to be expected for that call, who's attending, and I can even jump into that meeting directly without leaving Dash. If I needed to prepare for this meeting because I had a good weekend, I forgot what we were going to discuss, I can ask a simple question like, what are our marketing goals for 2025 as an example? Now, I'm not necessarily sure what the document that I'm looking for is, that it was actually called marketing goals for 2025, but we've been able to surface the answer that I'm looking for right here. And in addition to providing you with the answer, it's also giving you a clear citation of where we built this answer from. And it's getting all of this information from across these different applications and these different types of content. Now, while you have a quick summary from those documents, you can ask additional follow-up questions, and you can use one of the prompts that we suggest, or you can come up with your own. So I'll just dig a little deeper into those documents and gather a little bit more insight. We're searching across all the content that you have access to, but of course, if you want to be a little bit more focused, you can use the drop-down menu and say, I really want to dig into just this document or just this ones we've searched for so far. Now, searching for content is not limited to text-based documents. For example, if you have customers that might be working in marketing and they've done a campaign and then they're looking for that hero image, they might just search for, and let's face it, when you're dealing with media types, images, videos, a lot of times the names of those don't make sense. They're non-words, they're strings of characters. So I'm going to search for men's watch, and let's say the film shoot took place in Berlin, and it was a classic sort of looking watch. I'm going to do a quick search, and the default here may be some word content, but you can also see we're also surfacing images, which you can also highlight before going into them. If we wanted to narrow down to just images, for example, or just a certain location, we can either do that before searching or after we have our main results. So in this case, I might just search for only image type of content. And regardless of where that image lives, whether it's in Microsoft, whether it's in Office 365 in SharePoint or OneDrive, or it's in Google Workspace, you're going to be able to find that information. Not only can you search by content, the type of image that you have, like here we see the name of the file is Elegant Classic Dial. We have 2605 here as an example. We can also search based on any of the metadata that has been captured about that image. Okay, so that's image search and text-based search. The next sort of step that you can take beyond just finding your content is how you can use the generative power of AI to help automate some time-consuming tasks. We're going to go and create a little chat session. And I might first ask what risk management or risk assessment, we'll say, do we have for outdoor events and festivals? So this is going to search through all the content that I have, looking for matching documents having to do with risk assessments. And I can, of course, click with a single click and open up that document. So I'll just open this risk assessment for a video production we did in Stockholm. This allows me then to quickly read it without necessarily having to navigate to where it lives. But that's not doing anything particularly generative. That's just helping us find stuff. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add in and select some of this content and inject it into the chat. So I'll say risk assessment. Now I know what some of those ones are, and I will choose this one. We'll choose maybe one other. We'll choose the Stockholm one. Now I can begin to use these to begin to generate something new, saving myself some time. So using these two docs, create a new risk assessment for an Oktoberfest event in Oslo, where the risks are cold, rain, and overcrowding. The event takes place in October 15th to 31st. It's now going to generate a new risk assessment for us based on the prompt that we've given and the previous content. And you can look how quickly it's done that. And once it's completed, it will even make suggestions about how you can possibly improve that document. Now, this doesn't look like the format that we usually use in my fictitious company. So how do I get this to look more like the normal type of risk assessments we do? Well, we do that with templates. So I have a risk assessment template that we've added, and we can reformat the output to match the company standard. As you can see, now it's more aligned the way in which we normally output our risk assessments. Now, if I'm happy when this is complete, we can go ahead and export this, say to a PDF, a paper document, or we can just copy the text that we could put into Word. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how you can organize when you have a project and bring all of your different components that you are able to find in Surface into a single pane of glass. And that's what we call stacks. So I can go to a stack, and I have quite a few that I've created here, but we're going to go to a semi-fictitious one that we've created as though we're a marketing agency running the campaign for Dropbox and Dash and McLaren together. So within this stack, I have, of course, the branding for the events. We have the ability to add in rich media content, such as images, as well as documents, regardless of where they live. So here we can see there's a Google document here. We also have content that lives inside of Dropbox, and we can organize these into different categories, regardless of where these documents happen to live. So they could be scattered across many different directories in cloud surfaces, and then we can see all of them in one clear place, and everyone knows where to go to stay focused on what they need. This gives us the ability to share with my team. So there's a central project hub where everyone knows is the source of truth. And we can go ahead and ask questions of this entire stack, so people will know exactly where they are with the latest status of the project. So what we'll do is we'll search through all the sources that are readable. We'll then answer the question based on those documents without having to worry that you might be getting surfacing questions from unrelated materials. So Matt, you said before that security was really important here in Norway.
Yeah, and also we offer security in our Dropbox as well. So we want to continue that also into Dash. Specifically, it's very important having reports and who is accessing different types of files and stuff like that. And also how can we integrate all different components into Dash.
You can see all the different types of applications that we are connected to in my environment. We have connectors, which we call company, which means that you as an admin will set this up for your customers. And then when they get a Dash license, they'll automatically be able to search through everything in Dropbox they have access to. You can also decide if you want to allow certain applications, such as allow users to connect to their Gmail. And then the users themselves will choose, I will connect to my Gmail, and then I will be able to search through my emails. No one else will be able to see those in the Dash interface. But as we switch over to how you can protect your company assets, we'll go navigate down to our protect and control element. So in this one pane of glass, I can see all of the company files that live inside of Google Drive, Dropbox, or Microsoft 365, and who they've been shared with. So you can get a understanding of what your risk profile is for things like what content is accessible to anyone that has a link. So really open sharing. You can look to see what type of content is available to people that has been shared to a non-work email, such as like a Gmail or a Hotmail account. If we see something that we think this shouldn't be shared, it's not appropriate what's been shared, I can select that, and now we can go ahead and fix it. And we have a number of different options available to us. So we can choose to remove a particular type of link. So I can select the link and say, let's remove the public link. Now, you don't have to go one at a time. I might, for example, as an IT admin or AGS on the behalf of a customer, may say, as part of their security posture, they want to remove all public links. So I'll click on all open links. I'll select all of them. And again, I can either remove external collaborators or remove a particular type of a link. And with a single click, you can have that mass change on all of those files, regardless of where they live.
What kind of reports can we use to have an overview of this?
Well, that's actually a really great question because we've just added in reporting into protect and control. So by clicking on reports here, I can have a quick look to see the exact number of items I have across multiple different cloud sources, or I can narrow it down to a particular cloud app. We can see how many of those are internally owned, how many have access by internal, external, and by clicking on any of these, it will go ahead and bring me to that filtered list. We also have a tab here for stale access. And what we mean by that is how many files do we have where the link has been shared, but the file hasn't been updated in 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. So that content may not be really relevant anymore. It doesn't really need to be assessed anymore. So maybe it makes sense to filter on those and then go ahead and remove them.
Thank you, everyone, for your time and participation here in the Dropbox webinar. Thank you, Seamus, for being here with us today, to taking the time to walk us through Dash. Feel free to contact us in the chat or contact us here. We are available all the time for your convenience. So thank you, everybody, for watching today. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.